It's Tuesday, May 5th. The markets in New York are open. The big number this morning, 16.5 million. So that's the new annual sales rate for the auto industry. That's according to new April sales tabulated by Auto Data. It's also suggesting another year of car and truck sales will be revving higher in the U.S. Consumers continue to replace those aging vehicles, and they're spending more to do it as well. The average price for a vehicle climbing 3% last quarter. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Kleffler in New York. So here with more, Rick Newman from Yahoo Finance on this Tuesday morning. So, Rick, another strong month car sales. This is coming after obviously a great 2014 for the auto industry. What's the big driver?
Yeah, it's really been a great couple of years for the auto industry, and I think the more important thing, you said the sales number was really strong, but the average transaction price, which you talked about, $33,000 for a car. Americans are spending a lot of money on cars these days, and the driver, I think, is what we all know: low interest rates. People can get loans. It's much easier to get a loan for a car than it is for a home at this point. Subprime lending is pretty healthy, so even if your credit is not good, you can get a loan for a car. And I think the fact that banks are willing to make these loans is what's really driving a great turnaround for the auto industry.
Cheap money, is it cars, is it trucks, is there a particular sector that's doing better?
It's all of the above, but sure as anything, with low gas prices, we've seen people buying more big cars and trucks. I mean, it's amazing, this correlation. It's very strong, and it's kind of surprising because it's not like everybody knows the price of gas a day may not be anywhere near the price of gas a year from now or 2 years from now. And of course, you don't just buy a car for a month, you buy it for several years. And yet, when gas prices go down, sales of big trucks and SUVs and even big passenger cars go up, and that's what we've seen. And this is really good news for the automakers because the profit margins on those big vehicles are way higher than they are on economy cars and smaller vehicles.
Well, you talk about economy. What about luxury vehicles as well? Are they selling?
Yeah, they're selling really well. I mean, you hear from people in the luxury segment, whether it's cars or jewelry or anything, that this is a strong market. So when you hear about income inequality and the rich keep getting richer, and they buy a lot of vehicles. So they are buying vehicles, and what you're also seeing is the popularity of these nameplates, whether it's Audi, Lexus, BMW. They've been going down market for a long time, and they're selling. They're getting down into close to $30,000. You can get a BMW or an Audi these days, maybe even below $30,000. And if the average transaction price is $33,000, you can get a so-called luxury nameplate for the price of an average car, maybe a little bit less. Now, that's not the kind of car that the luxury automakers want to make the majority of their sales, but what they're doing is they're getting you into the brand with that cheap offering, and you want to have that prestige nameplate, and then they hope, of course, that you stick with them and you go from a BMW 1 Series to a BMW 3 Series, 5 Series, 7 Series, and if you really hit it rich and you've got $250,000 to spend on a car someday, well, they hope it's going to be a BMW.
Exactly. Always good to bank on that. So from an investing standpoint of view, any car company that's got some interest out there?
Well, if you look at the stock prices for GM and Ford, they have severely underperformed the market. They're flat for the most part over the last year. They're flat over the last 5 years for the most part. Now, this is a really competitive business, and just because auto sales are strong, it doesn't mean those stocks are going to take off as if they're sort of the next best thing out of Silicon Valley. But those stocks are looking pretty good to some buyers, and if the auto industry stays healthy, I think you could see some nice gains there.
All right, we'll take a look and wait and see on that. All right. Rick Newman from Yahoo Finance on a Tuesday. Rick, thank you so much. Have a good day.
Thanks, Dan. See you.
Keep up with the latest headlines right here on abcnews.com. You've been watching The Big Number. I'm Dan Kleffler in New York.